Ever notice how the moment someone expects you to do something nice, you suddenly don't want to do it anymore, even if it's something you'd normally enjoy? That's Lemonhope's dark story. He gets rescued by people who immediately expect him to become their hero in return. In exchange for freedom, all he got was lost, not knowing who he is and who he wants to be. So what does it actually take to figure out who you are and what you want? It starts with a diplomatic dinner gone wrong. Princess Bubblegum and Finn are visiting Castle Lemongrab, and things are weird. Lemongrab has gotten massively fat, while his clone brother is missing legs and half of his face. The dinner is a nightmare of Lemongrab shocking performers and stealing food from starving lemon children. PB can't take it anymore.
I can't watch this anymore. Excuse me, Finn.
She wanders off, and that's when she hears it. Music. Beautiful, haunting music coming from somewhere deep in the castle. She follows the sound and finds Lemonhope in the filthy bathroom, singing with his harp.
Poor little Lemonhope, throw me a lemon rope.
When she asks his name, he tells her that his name is Bad Lemonhope. That's what Lemongrab called him, a bad lemon with no hope. But the kid transforms it into something different.
You can call me Lemonhope.
He's taking the cruelest insult and making it his identity. We all know people like this, the kid everyone said would never amount to anything, who becomes the most successful person in the room. The difficult employee who turns out to be the most creative when they find the right manager. PB's response is immediate.
By all accounts, this is a brilliant and sensitive little boy. I'm taking Lemonhope back to the Candy Kingdom and enrolling him in a school for gifted children.
Notice what just happened. PB didn't ask Lemonhope what he wanted. She saw talent being wasted and decided to fix it. It's the classic rescuer mentality. I know what's best for you better than you do. Sound familiar? You know, good intentions, but who's actually making the choice for this other person? Lemongrab doesn't want Lemonhope to leave, so PB and Finn hatch a plan. They'll prank Lemongrab like old times and use the chaos to escape with Lemonhope. It's childish, but PB is desperate. The prank fails spectacularly. Lemongrab just tosses them into the dungeon with Lemonhope, but that failure creates an opportunity for something beautiful. PB hands Lemonhope Finn's flute.
Now will you play something for us? Something beautiful?
Turns out he can only play the harp. What comes out is awful, screeching, discordant noise that makes everyone wince. But it's actually music to the ears of both Lemongrabs, who come dancing into the room, muttering happily. Lemongrab 2 absent-mindedly but immediately opens the cell door, which is the moment everything changes, because Lemongrab 1's response reveals who he really is.
How dare you! How dare you release my prisoners! Soft Lemongrab, softer than an old graham cracker! Yes, sir!
Lemongrab 2 just chose compassion over obedience, and it cost him everything. He knew what would happen, but he did it anyway. That's not soft, that's the hardest choice there is. As PB, Finn, and Lemonhope try to escape, they find the castle gates locked while Lemongrab appears on the balcony, ordering his children to kill them all. But then Lemongrab 2 comes in again to save the day. He forces his way halfway out of his brother's mouth.
It has cost me much, but I have learned lemon need not squeeze lemon to survive. Lemonhope, go forth! Grow strong and return for us! Go!
He breaks every lemon person's shock collar, freeing them all, before getting swallowed back down for good. Again, take note of what just happened. Someone literally sacrificed their life to give Lemonhope freedom. And their dying words weren't, be happy or live well, they were instructions. Go forth, grow strong, and return for us. That's where that burden starts. Lemonhope's freedom didn't come out of the goodness of someone's heart, it came with an agenda attached. He's finally free to again do what others expect of him. The lemon people lift them over the wall, and as they walk away, PB tells Lemonhope,
You're going to love the Candy Kingdom, Lemonhope. You'll learn all about playing and play math and learning all day long, and you'll never get yelled at.
But the damage is already done. Lemonhope has just learned that his freedom came at the cost of someone else's life, and that life had expectations attached. Before we see Lemonhope's new reality, we see his dreams. He's a winged creature standing in a nest on a rock jutting out of water. He flies towards the sun, then dives down to touch the water. He passes 3 gray doors and lands in front of a red one. He tries the knob, but suddenly hears knocking from the other side. He looks around. No one's there. The knocking continues. Doorbells ring. Then Princess Bubblegum's bell wakes him up. Class is in session. Those dreams aren't random. They're showing us Lemonhope's psychological state in perfect metaphor. He's got wings, he can fly, he's free, but he's drawn to doors that he can't open. Someone's knocking, trying to reach him, but when he investigates, there's no one there, because he can't find them. That's the burden of rescue guilt. Part of him wants to answer that call, wants to open that door and see who needs him, but another part of him knows that opening it means losing his wings. The knocking represents the voices of his people calling for help, and his inability to answer represents his terror of losing the freedom he just gained. The red door is significant too. Red like an emergency. The other doors are gray and neutral and unimportant, but this one demands attention. This is the door that leads back to obligation, back to being someone else's hope instead of his own person. But he can't open it. Not yet. PB shows him a film titled Hello and Keep Away from Castle Lemongrab, where a grotesquely fat Lemongrab brags about his fortified totalitarian city-state and peak societal obediency. The footage shows lemon people in chains, in stocks, getting pushed off ledges while Lemongrab smashes harps with glee. The film ends with Lemongrab directly addressing Lemonhope.
No one needs to come here ever, especially Lemonhope.
Then Lemongrab 2's voice calls out from his brother's stomach.
Save us, Lemonhope! You're our only Lemonhope!
Of course, PB isn't teaching Lemonhope about the real world. She's showing him carefully selected footage designed to make him feel guilty and responsible and like a potential hero. It's like showing a kid videos of starving children, then handing them a donation envelope. The message is clear. If you don't act, their suffering is your fault. When PB asks if he was paying attention, Lemonhope just keeps doodling on his paper, mentally checking out, which is what happens when people sense they're being manipulated or talked down to. PB tries a different approach by giving him 2 cupcakes and none to Finn. Now the question is simple, will Lemonhope share one with Finn? Seems reasonable, right? Basic empathy training. But Lemonhope's response reveals everything.
Oh, but I don't want to. I want both cupcakes.
Then he licks his thumb and jabs it into both cupcakes, making them inedible for anyone else. But this does have a deeper meaning to it. When someone tries to engineer your generosity, the natural response is to withhold it. Now think about your own life. When someone asks you to help them move, you might say yes, but when someone assumes you'll help them move and starts planning around your availability without asking, suddenly you remember you have plans that weekend. PB's frustration shows.
Maybe we need something more hands-on.
She's treating his resistance like a teaching problem instead of recognizing it for what it is, a response to being controlled. So PB takes him on a field trip, making him witness something horrific. A lemon person drops a rope over the wall and tries to escape. He gets spotted, grabbed by a flying guard, and dropped into Lemongrab's mouth while screaming.
Remember Lemonhope!
Followed by munching sounds and silence. PB's conclusion is simple.
Do you see? They helped you. You have to help them now. It's your responsibility.
And that's when Lemonhope reaches his breaking point.
No! I don't have to do anything that I don't want to! They set me free! And free means I decide what I do, not them, and not you!
This isn't necessarily selfishness talking, this is someone fighting for their basic right to choose. When PB saved him, she told him he was free. But freedom with conditions isn't freedom, it's just a longer leash. PB's response reveals everything about how she really sees Lemonhope, calling it unacceptable. Oops. Lemongrab's word, the word used to control and punish lemon people. By the time she realizes what she said, Lemonhope is already gone. The rescuer just became another type of captor. The person who promised freedom just revealed it came with terms and conditions. That's the moment that Lemonhope realized that he wasn't rescued, he was just transferred. What follows, though, is pure untainted joy. Lemonhope emerges from the forest by himself, strumming his harp and singing.
Lemonhope's got feet that take him to fun. Lemonhope's got meat that's warm in the sun. Lemonhope's got no future plans, fully undeterred.
He's celebrating the absence of restrictions. No won'ts, no can'ts. Finally able to experience true freedom. He sees a pirate ship and his eyes light up. The ship represents pure possibility, no expectations, no debt, no one telling him what he owes or who he should be, just the ability to sail wherever you want. So he climbs aboard, finds a crate of limes, and settles in. He plays his harp, and rats form a blanket around him as he falls asleep. But freedom without direction has consequences. Pirates start yelling, the ship lurches, and crates fall on Lemonhope's head, knocking him unconscious. When he wakes up, the ship is half buried in desert sand, abandoned, and he's alone with his broken harp. His food runs out. He squeezes dry lime after dry lime, but finds nothing.
Well, I guess if there's no juice, I got freedom to go find water.
But as he wanders the desert, even his freedom song becomes weaker, and he ends up collapsing. That's the cruel irony of reactive freedom. When you define yourself entirely by what you're rejecting and by the direction that you're going as its opposite to something else, you can end up rejecting everything, including the things that might actually save you and things that are important. Lemonhope chose complete freedom over safety, independence over connection, self-determination over purpose. And it's killing him. But right when he collapsed is when his real philosophical journey begins. In his dreams, Lemonhope becomes a horse, humming merrily to himself. Behind him, Lemon Grab 2 calls out.
Hey guy, back here? Think I might have fallen off back there? Guy? Hey buddy?
But Lemonhope just keeps walking, dragging his former savior behind him. This dream is brutal in its simplicity and honesty. Lemonhope sees himself as literally dragging along the person who died for him. Lemon Grab 2 isn't angry or demanding, he's just there, politely asking for attention, and Lemonhope is actively choosing to ignore him. Then Princess Bubblegum appears as gum stuck to his hoof. The symbolism here is also perfect. PB has become something sticky that he can't get off, using Lemon Grab's language of control and just hanging on to him annoyingly. And Lemon Grab 2, the one who actually sacrificed for him, just wants to be acknowledged. But in trying to escape the gum, Lemonhope is also trying to escape the buddy who needs him. That's the psychology of guilt. The people we feel we owe become weights on our psyche that we drag behind us, even when they're not necessarily demanding anything in the moment, especially when they're not demanding anything. Lemonhope wakes up in his deteriorating ship. He's running out of food. Even when starving to death, though, he frames it as a free choice.
I got freedom to go find water.
Everything he's been about is taken to its logical extreme. If he's doing it, and he's doing it on his own, then it must be his free will. He'd rather die than admit that he could use some help from someone else.
Cloud? What are you gonna do? Freedom not to rain, I guess.
It's scattered everywhere, even as he sees a cloud. That line is everything. He's literally dying of thirst, but he won't even resent the cloud for not helping him, because resenting the cloud's freedom would mean admitting that freedom has responsibilities attached. And if freedom has responsibilities, then maybe his freedom does too. There's still hope, though, as a new man shows up to help him.
My name's Flannel Boxing Day, and I've been watching you and your hard, hot life in this desert from up there, in my cloud trawler. I thought you might need a hand.
When Lemonhope hesitates, Flannel adds the magic words.
It's your choice.
And that's what Lemonhope needs to hear. Not, you need help, or you have to let me save you. Just, it's your choice. For the first time since his rescue, someone is offering help without attaching strings. On the cloud trawler, Flannel even offers Lemonhope an apprenticeship, but more importantly, he's showing Lemonhope a life where freedom and purpose can coexist. But even with Flannel, the guilt follows him in his dreams. He tries to outrun it every time he's encountered with something related to the lemon grabs, but it goes nowhere. So he looks up and sees himself as the puppeteer, actually the one controlling the chains. This is the breakthrough moment. Lemonhope realizes that he's not being controlled by external forces. He's the one who's always controlling himself. The chains aren't actually coming from Lemon Grab or Princess Bubblegum or the Lemon People. They're coming from his own hands, and they always have been. He's been so focused on rejecting other people's control that he never noticed that he was imprisoning himself with his own resentment. Lemonhope tells Flannel about his nightmares.
I'm free now, Flannel, to do all whatevs I ever wanted. But all I think about is my old life. What does it mean?
Flannel's response cuts to the heart of it. He can be free to help the Lemon People or free to leave them be. But a debt unpaid is not easily forgotten, so it'll remain in his own head. That's where the real prison is, after all. Lemonhope thought he could escape external control, but he's been carrying his real captor with him the entire time. It's just him. There's one key difference between PB and Flannel. Flannel isn't telling him what to do. He's asking what Lemonhope will choose to do. Same situation, completely different framing. Not because he owes them or out of responsibility, but to help himself. The difference between being driven by guilt and being driven by purpose isn't always visible from the outside. Someone might do the exact same helpful action for completely different internal reasons, but the person doing it feels the difference in every cell of their body. Lemonhope is finally ready to face that red door from his dreams. Not because someone's forcing him to open it, but because he's tired of hearing the knocking, and he wants to open it. Flannel drops Lemonhope off at the Lemon Earldom perimeter. He finds the rope from the previous escape attempt still dangling over the wall. As he climbs up, he sees shackled lemon people huddled around fires, sleeping in the rain. But this time, seeing their suffering doesn't fill him with guilt, it fills him with purpose. The difference is choice. When someone forces you to look at suffering and demands you fix it, you can end up resenting both them and the suffering people. But when you choose to look, when you decide that their pain matters to you, everything changes. Lemongrab appears, but he's evolved by plugging his ears to keep Lemonhope's song from hurting him. But then, Lemongrab 2's arms reach out and remove the earplugs, giving Lemonhope the option to finally get rid of his guilt. And the lemon people, the ones that Lemonhope thought he was abandoning, they're helping too. Lemongrab 2 urges him,
The heart, Lemonhope! The heart!
until Lemongrab can't take it anymore and explodes. Lemonhope isn't doing it alone, and he isn't doing it from obligation. He's doing it as part of a team because he chose to be part of that team. After the explosion, Princess Bubblegum arrives and sews the remains of Lemongrabs back together into Lemongrab 3. She offers Lemonhope exactly what she'd always planned.
Maybe you'd like to stay here in Lemongrab while Lemongrab recovers. Every kingdom needs a champion, and you're a true champion if ever I've seen one.
She's learned nothing. She's still trying to program his choices, still assuming that because he did the heroic thing, he wants the heroic life. But Lemonhope surprises everyone. He refuses, saying he'll be back when he's tired of being free in 1,000 years.
See you in 1,000 years, I guess.
This is the most important moment in the entire story. Lemonhope just saved his people, proved he's capable of heroism, and then walked away, again. Though this time it's different. He's not running from obligation, he's choosing his own path after fulfilling a commitment he made to himself. He accomplished his mission that he chose with his own free will, and that's all he cared about. And we do see him 1,000 years later when an elderly Lemonhope walks through the ruins of Ooh. He passes Finn and Jake's tree fort, now taller than the clouds, and the abandoned Candy Kingdom. He makes his way to Castle Lemongrab and finds the room that Princess Bubblegum prepared for him. Finally, after his long journey, he turns off his biosuit, gets into the bed, smiles, and closes his eyes. This is what true choice looks like. 1,000 years of freedom, and then he did, in the end, choose to come home. All because he wanted to. Lemonhope's story teaches us that you can only genuinely choose something when you're genuinely free to reject it. Obligation can poison choice with resentment, even when the choice would be good. Think about your own life, like the friend who always pays for dinner out of generosity versus the friend who pays because the group expects them to. Same action, completely different emotional experience. The moment expectation enters the equation, generosity becomes performance. The parents who calls because they want to talk to you versus the parents who calls because children should call their parents, so they're asking what's up. Same phone call, but one fills you with warmth and the other with resentment. Lemonhope had to completely reject his people to discover whether he actually cared about them in the first place. He had to become totally free to abandon them before he could authentically choose to help them. And once he proved to himself that his care was real, not programmed, not guilt-driven, but genuine, he was free to walk away again. The paradox of human relationships is that we can only truly give when we're free to withhold. Love, help, generosity, they only have meaning when they're chosen, not coerced. That's why Lemonhope's 1,000-year return is so perfect. By the time he comes back, every trace of obligation is gone. No one's left to have expectations. No one's left to guilt him into staying. He returns purely because he chooses to. And that choice, made in complete freedom, finally feels like home. If you want to see another Adventure Time character navigate the complicated relationship between duty and desire, check out our analysis of Marcy and PB. It's also got even more emotional lessons in it. And if you want to see more videos in the future, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.